Hey folks, it's Jeremy. I have a couple of things to talk to you about before we get into the main part of the episode. The first is if you would like to support this podcast or this network, the best place to do so is at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. It is the one-stop shop for all of your ways to support the network, and you get a bunch of goodies besides. The second thing is the audio in this episode is going to sound a little bit weird and rougher than usual. We were recording, and the power at Gary's house died, and he lost all of his the recordings that he had made thus far. So for the first half of the show, we're relying on my Discord audio recording, which sounds fine. It's perfectly listenable. It's just not up to the usual kind of Duckfeed.tv standards. So sorry about that, but nothing can be done. At least we had a backup, and we didn't have to do one of those weird, like, do you remember this time when we made this joke kind of episodes? That would have been horrible. Anyway, this is Avengers episodes 3 and 4. And coming in 2 weeks will be Avengers 5 and 6. Check out daysoffuturecast.com/schedule if you want to keep up with the show. I don't know why you would, though. All of these episodes are terrible. And enjoy the episode. I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I talk about all of the Marvel cartoons that you absolutely do not want to watch. Please do not watch these cartoons. They're so bad.
All the cartoons that were so widely be tolerated in the 90s.
I cannot believe how terrible these are, Gary. They're not good.
This is not a good show. So this episode, I said this last time because we thought we were going to record all 4 of them at once, these first 4, and we didn't. I think these 2 episodes are better than the first 2.
Sure.
The first 2 were extremely bad.
I guess I'll agree with that, yes.
Yeah.
Testicular torture is not is worse than toe torture. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Yep. And I think that the 6th episode of this is, like, 1, it tries to have a point. 2, I think it's pretty funny, not on purpose. Like, I laugh a lot. It introduces Captain America. That'll be next episode. And Captain America in this, there's a couple lines that are among the funniest shit that I've seen. It's all terrible, though. Like, this is a really terrible cartoon. We made a really bad mistake. And the
wait. Excuse me. I just want to make sure that we have the clearly lined out of who made what decision on this podcast. You made a terrible mistake in suggesting this. I was like, why don't we watch something good, Gary? And Gary was like, no, absolutely not. Let's go back to 1999 for this Avengers show that I've never watched, and also you don't even know about.
Yep. And I'm like, no, I remember being pretty cool.
Do you remember episode 3 that's just called KANG?
Yeah, you love KANG, right? It's a cool product or something.
Everybody loves KANG.
I actually do like KANG. The
voice is Everybody Loves KANG, voiced by Chris Rock. It's KANG growing up in Brooklyn in the 1970s.
Like, I know you want to leave me. KANG, KANG, KANG. I do like KANG.
Sure. Yeah, Kang's a
not
good
in
guy.
Not in this cartoon.
No, he's a really nice guy. He loaned me like $400 for rent one time, so it's really nice.
Yeah. If you need to bury a body, Kang will zap it through time. It's like, they made a movie about it. It's called Looper. I was wrong. And this is a real bad cartoon. But here's the thing about dragging you into mud, Jeremy, is that even if you get out of it, you're still dirty, man. Like, we are in this mud. We got to fucking get out of it.
Why do you say that like it's a positive thing? You're like, oh, no, wait. The thing about buying a car at 6.6% interest is that you can pay it off early and not have to owe that extra money. No, you just said I'll get out of this, but being as dirty as I was, the worst.
I think the thing what I said, it's almost like I said, the thing about buying a car at 6.6 interest is you can make payments.
Yeah, is that you're going to owe 6.6% interest is what you just told me.
Yeah, imagine how fun it is to, like, pay bills. No, I think it builds character. And I think that for me and you, I'm not trying to be patronizing. I think that I could use character. And then also, we're going to learn a lot about sections of the Marvel Universe. Like, when else were we going to talk about Kang?
Yeah, this is absolutely. We're never going to see Kang in the MCU.
Yeah,
we will see at one point Absorbing Man in the MCU. Like that's a thing that exists. By the way,
it's extremely weird when it happens too. It's a weird Absorbing Man.
You've seen Absorbing Man in the MCU?
There's in the first Incredible Hulk movie, the Ang Lee one. That's basically what the bad guy is. They don't call him that. But he has the same kind of powers until he turns into a gigantic like CGI monster.
Is that Edward Norton, or is that the one before Edward Norton?
Before Edward Norton.
Okay, so I don't actually know that I've seen that Incredible Hulk.
Oh no, it is Edward Norton.
It is Edward Norton.
Wait,
okay.
No. Who are the two people who played him? It's like Edward Norton and because they switched it to Mark Ruffalo with the Avengers.
Yes.
So pre Edward Norton when it was Eric Bana, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember that at all. I'm googling this right here to see if I can get a
Eric Bana.
That's a weird casting choice.
It's a really bad movie. It's one of those movies where people keep coming and being like, it's time to reevaluate the Ang Lee Hulk, and I'm like, no, it's fucking not. Stop doing that. Stop trying to reevaluate the prequels. Stop trying anything that was bad is still fucking bad.
It's all bad. Yeah, don't go back and be like the underappreciated movies of the 1970s. No, they're just bad movies.
It's bad.
They're only good because they're 82 minutes long. That's the only thing they have going for them.
You believe in magic now or something? What happened? What do you think changed with this fucking movie? It's the same fucking movie.
I was referring to in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. Absorbing Man shows up and is actually like a reasonably developed character. Like that show does a really weird job of developing strange Marvel characters you wouldn't think would work on screen, like Deathlock or Absorbing Man, or Mockingbird had a time on that show before she got cast in something else. So like it like we will see those people, but also in this show, it doesn't. Like there's a point in I don't know if is it these two episodes? No, it's actually not. I guess we could talk about Swordsman in the episode today. Like
hell yeah, we can.
Where like who is this guy? Why is he dressed so weird? What are his motives? Like that the questions this cartoon brings up are never answered whatsoever, and it's just mind-boggling to me. Someone in our chat, I believe it was Mai, said that this is basically turned into the abject suffering period of Days of Future Cast, and the only reason I'm willing to roll with you on these cartoons is because I feel like you guys play enough. You guys play about 22 minutes of bad video games and abject suffering, and then talk about bullshit. And these episodes are only about 22 minutes long. That's the only reason I'm willing to roll with you on this.
Yeah, and because you're in the mud and you got to pay the bills, and now you're fucking dirty as hell, dude.
I like how your idea of being in the mud is that you can only just walk out of in the mud. Like Gary, I own a shower. I can just go clean off.
The shower. Hey, Jeremy, guess fucking what? The shower is Wolverine 2.
Oh no,
it's coming.
I don't want to shower, Daddy. I don't want to shower.
I've infected your whole goddamn life.
So, for people that may be just joining us and wondering why a show called Days of Future Cast is covering the Avengers, we have finished the X-Men animated series. We have covered a lot of the movies. We kind of dipped into the Spider-Man series and talked about like the X-Men crossovers there. And now we have decided to dip into the 1999 Avengers United They Stand series. We've covered episodes 1 and 2. We're going to cover episodes 3 and 4 in this episode that you're listening to today. This show is about the Avengers having extremely unpredictable armor. I guess is the best way to describe it.
The dumb armor adventures of the worst Avengers is what we're dealing with here. It's vaguely the West Coast Avengers, characters who I like, but this show is trying to get me not to like them, and we'll see if I still like them by episode 13. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it with episode 48 here. Kang is the name of this episode. Episode 48 of our show. Episode 3 of this show. Kang. The Avengers battle Kang the Conqueror, a time traveler attempting to take over the world. Succinct.
IMDb. I need to go look up the TV DB database, because when I look at this in my like Kodi application on on my TV, like all of the descriptions are 5 sentences long, and all like 3 out of 5 sentences end with question marks. Like, will the Avengers be able to conquer KANG? Like, so I think I'm doing us a disservice by looking at IMDb for these episode synopses. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have better synopses. This starts out with our buddy Falcon. Gary, have you noticed that every time we don't necessarily get that like weird saxophone, but every time the Falcon is on the screen, they definitely do that same theme song that they did in the first couple episodes?
Yeah. Falcon's got a theme. He's a breakout character of this, I think. Is what they're going for.
Is that what they're doing?
I don't know what they're doing. Of course I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, he does have a theme song, but I like it because then you know when Falcon's on screen.
That's true.
Like if let's say you're looking at your phone because this show is extremely hard to watch. Let's say you have 17 tabs open while trying to watch this show.
Oh God! Let me try to find the one with the little speaker icon on my Chrome tabs. Where's it at? Where's it at?
Christ. Yeah. So this starts out with Falcon. He's getting some downtime. Mm-hmm. Him and his nephew are they're getting a personal tour of this museum. And the extremely permissive museum like attendant here just like lets him handle the merchandise right off.
It's the it's the dude from Jurassic Park, which just lets the two people just like run in and like touch the eggs that's about to hatch, right? Like that's what this is. It's like, oh yeah, here's a vase that we found in ancient Egypt and imported to New York. Why don't you touch it and put it on this pedestal? Like that seems like a thing for a 9-year-old to do.
Well, like he, obviously the real worry would be that he would break it. I don't think he could have predicted what actually happens. So to this museum guy's credit, like. No one could have predicted this because
museum guy looks at the screen like Jim Halpert and says, "I thought it was apocalypse."
Face. So the kid puts it's like a weird like obelisk thing too. He puts it in the statue. It starts cracking and breaks off and blows up, blowing up another vase that happens there, which summons KANG. Now we have KANG, who stands up shooting lasers out of his hands. I think KANG's design is actually pretty cool in this.
It's better than any of the Avengers that he will fight. I agree.
Yes, I'm going to say nice things when they come up. I love how garish his colors are. Like he's all fuchsia and pink and purple and shit. Like he's all super bright colors. Like I like him.
He's he could be worse. I will definitely say that. Like I guess. Immediately we get this armor montage. It's increasingly bizarre the way they time these armor montages. Sometimes it's just one character, sometimes it's after an Avengers Assemble. Like I kind of assumed going into this that Hank Pym would say Avengers Assemble and would get the whole montage, but sometimes a character is like, I'm going to England, and there's a montage about them getting their armor on. So it's very funny. Also,
the opening sequences of this, the theme song is mostly them putting their armor on.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I think one of the episodes we're covering this time, the armor sequence happens like 45 seconds after the beginning of the episode. Like, I just watched it.
Yeah, dude, I remember from the intro. Yeah. I got you.
So KANG pulls out an orb, uses this orb to summon a bunch of batteries not included, and the batteries not included fly around and freeze people in time by turning them into statues, doing the Visions move.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the Avengers show up. The Avengers fly up, they armor up, and they get in their Quinjet, and they head over to find KANG.
Yeah, he has flown himself to the top of the museum. His whole deal is that he's looking for an obelisk, which I thought that he already had, but like it was a totally different obelisk.
And that's
so many obelisks. I can't.
Jeremy, it's one of my favorite things about this is that I think that he was just inside that pot. Like I don't think he actually needed the thing.
I don't think he needed the thing either. Like it feels like he could have just done this without all the extra bullshit.
He was just tiny. No, he's not Kitty KANG. he's adult KANG.
We also get when Tigra and Hawkeye like kind of fly out of the Avengers ship to attack, they perform the up AA maneuver.
Up double A.
I love the code names for all of their maneuvers. I wish the Avengers movies had this. I really do.
I just want someone to yell at Jeremy Renner like up double A and just have him like brood about it.
I just want Jeremy Renner to be in another Avengers movie. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, he's got. If they don't give him a part in Infinity War 2, Jeremy Renner should go make the Hurt Locker Room or whatever the sequel is going to be. But like the up double A maneuver, we have to talk about it. So it's called up double A. That he yells him to do it, and Tigra jumps on top of one of these batteries not included, and then Hawkeye goes, and here's the double A, and the double A is him firing 2 arrows at the same thing. When I feel like one really would have sufficed.
No, man. Is there ever been a situation where you could do one thing where 2 wouldn't have been better?
Mostly true, actually. Yeah, and this blows up one of the batteries not included, but they're not even like they're just fighting robots inside the thing. Like Kang is upstairs on top of the roof, like addressing the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah,
and
they're literally not doing anything, but I guess saving Falcon at this point. I guess.
I guess
maybe.
That's true.
Yeah,
because they show all the people who were frozen in time thaw out. Like they're fine. Like they only get frozen for a moment.
It's the weak ass time conqueror I've ever seen.
And none of the Avengers who are on the roof fight Kang. Like they stand and watch him talk, and then Kang walks away, and only one of the Avengers follows him like a fucking superhero. Like it is so dumb.
Which feels like a kind of a comic book thing of this time. Like not necessarily of the late 90s, but of the time where I feel like they're pulling from, which is like kind of like
that's true.
Silver Age comic books of just a bunch of heroes like looking at a dude and yelling at him a whole lot, maybe try to punch a guy, and then just everybody walks away from each other. Like it's very much Mr. Sinister just like scurrying away in an alley, right? Like from the X-Men animated series.
Very much so. So Kang goes through the floor, Vision follows him. Hawkeye does the single A maneuver, but it doesn't get through Kang's shield. Kang is just kind of staying there waiting while arrow after arrow bounces off of his force field. And the Hank Pym is like, okay guys, like hold up, something's going on. Everyone just shoots things that bounce off of Kang's force field for a while. Like Kang has an impregnable force field.
Did you say impreg? Kang is impreg? Is that
he's uploaded a .mpreg file.
He is played by Norman Reedus and his Norman Fetus.
It's Norman Reedus, the funky fetus. The important thing that happens here before Tigra gets hurt is that Falcon finds the thing they keep calling the obelisk, like the weird little vase thing, puts it in a tech suitcase and walks away. Yeah. So he gets out of there to protect it from Kang.
And you mentioned Tigra getting hurt. She doesn't necessarily get hurt so much as she gets aged. If you're not following along with us, if you're not watching the show, and please do not watch the show, don't go down this journey with us. Tigra is basically like a orange cat person. Like she is the Cheeto Man. What's the Cheeto Man's guy? The
Chester Cheetah.
Chester Cheeto. She, a female version of that. Like a picture of that. And
you guys can imagine. Nah, dude. Yeah.
Please, this is not everything to Guppy. We do not need an ASMR. I'm not asking you to give me a Tigra cheat code. Although, if you want to talk about Sora, by the way, I'm into that.
Yeah, no, I think blocked.
This is going to come out much later, but a mutual friend of ours sent in a what we call a fuck, marry, hunt in the Monster of the Week category of Sora, Sora, Goofy, and I think Daffy. Like, fuck. And I'm like, I don't know which one I'm going to do, man. I really don't. I don't know what we're going to do on that. Anyway,
hunt them all and masturbate and then live alone.
Yeah, just delete the internet is what I'm going to do for that. Yeah. Tigra comes back, not orange anymore, but gray haired. Like she's extremely aged. Like she has gray hair. She's not really spry. She's still super skinny, so she's on that vegan shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she's still she's still
doesn't fuck with her metabolism.
She's a gilf, is what, I guess was what I'm saying.
Yeah, and she's still got Rogue's voice. The voice doesn't change.
Yeah.
Because this is Kang. So we skipped over something a little bit where Kang goes up to the top of the city as a giant hologram and says, "Hey, I need my obelisk back," and releases time waves that age the city and age the people in it. Yeah, and this is where Tigra gets tagged by the aging thing. Like it makes buildings crumble. People are like turning into old men on the street. Like I think this is legitimately pretty neat. Again, I'm going to call out good things when they happen. It's not a good cartoon. I think this is a cool, because the Avengers know giving him the thing is going to make him worse, but he's got a lot of power here. Like, Kang is serious business. And in the comics, Kang is an A-list Avengers villain. Like, Kang is a big Avengers villain. So
I like the idea of Kang selectively making things age. So like we get Tigra aging, or we get like some real like shitty teens aging into like short old men, which I think is very hilarious. But also like the steel beams of buildings and stuff like going to dust and like collapsing. I think that's legit like scary. Like, oh, you're not only like projecting these time things to be like weird and scary, like you can actually make things decay, and that's actually kind of terrifying for a villain to do.
I think so too. Like, I think it's a cool, like, I don't think that's what Kang can do. I think he's a time traveler. I don't think he's a time, time shooter. But it is cool. So the Avengers spend a bunch of time just kind of fucking figuring shit out. They're hanging out in their mansion. The Vision puts an Avengers DVD in that's marked as the Avengers, so they can analyze the obelisk. And Hawkeye's yelling, and he's real pissed. And he actually aims his arrow at the screen when it shows Kang. So he's got some object permanence like problems.
The amount of time that these Avengers spend staring at screens of stuff that either has just happened or that they just did is ridiculous. It's going to be a recurring theme in this show. Yeah,
man, I was going to say, like, one of the things about this cartoon is the lengths they'll go to not animate things. Like, so many times a character is just stock still and they just move their animate. Like, the Vision never moves his arms. They just move the entire unit just like left and right because he he levitates. But it's not like just worse animated than the X-Men. It's much less animated. Like, a lot of times things just don't move. They just zoom in or move to the side. And that screen stuff, people just standing around stock still watching screens of things that already happened. Like, it just screams like budget concern.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're spending all of their money in their armor montages. So that's the most animated show the most animated this show ever gets.
One of my favorite things that happens here is, so Kang is spying on them remotely. They watch the DVD. Kang comes and the Avengers Mansion does, like, they do an armor montage, and the Avengers Mansion does its security, which we've seen before. There's a tower in the Avengers Mansion that like people would definitely live in, that just goes under and then comes back as a gun. And just imagine somebody getting crushed in the gears if they were up there or something like that. Like, so many dead Avengers. Like, that's where fucking Jack of Hearts is, just like crushed between the gears.
Do you remember how much I loved in the X-Men animated series every time like those turrets would pop out with the little toupee of grass on top of it? Just like picturing a Warlock underneath getting crushed to death every time they popped up or down. It's very hilarious to me. I'm actually kind of into
stay away from bad ceiling. Leech doesn't want to go near the bad ceiling.
Storm, you were supposed to protect us. Storm's like, I don't know who the fuck you guys are. Who are you? So I think Ant-Man does some science to the obelisk and kind of figures all this stuff out. Like he kind of connects
through
himself
the ant
to
control
it.
helmet.
Yeah. It's weird that Hank Pym like kind of does all of his science by shrinking down or by like putting his shrink down helmet against something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty much all of the science that he does, which is very hilarious considering like episode 6 that we're going to get to a little bit later tonight. It's
oh my god, yeah. I am so into the man who can shrink and like, he's a scientist. We talked about this. Like, he's a scientist. That's part of his thing. But here, the way they don't know how to animate science. So they take the guy who can grow or shrink or control ants and make him make that how he does it. He gets a vision of this dystopian future of Kang that feels like it lasts like 5 minutes. It doesn't. It's much shorter than that, but it's extremely long, of just like showing a future like dystopia of when Kang is in control. Essentially, just like established stakes. Like, if Kang gets his it's his thing, that's what he's going to do. And they learn like and eventually, and it's multiple parts too. It shows everybody, Kang taking over, getting the will of the people, suppressing the people, and then eventually people taking Kang's power obelisk and sending it back through time. So it went to ancient Egypt, and it wasn't until he could bust out of that vase and get it that he's able to kind of make his power grab again.
Yeah, and leading up to this, he destroyed, like, as Hank's going to tell us a little bit later, millions of lives. Like, he's sacrificed millions of lives up on the way to do all of this stuff. So, like, good Avengers villain, I think. Like, this is a dude that the Avengers are equipped to handle. I think this is a good dude. he's a little goofy. Like I don't actually like. I wish that he was a little bit better. As I wish this entire show was just 20% better, because he doesn't have any like really good lines. Like I feel like if you had somebody with I don't remember the guy's
Apocalypse's
name.
Speeches, like Apocalypse Gravitas.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yep.
I also like that Ant-Man is recording all of this, by the way. Like he hits a button on the console.
It shows it to you.
So that we could make sure that like whoever comes later, like whoever plays through the System Shock version of this Avengers cartoon is going to get his environmental storytelling from Hank Pym.
Dude, you know that's my dream. I'm gonna find like Hank Pym's corpse and just learn all of his cool secrets.
Oh God,
that's what I want.
Here lies Scarlet Witch and the Hulk. They could never breed because Joss Whedon.
But like it is like, this is cool. Showing the stakes is cool. Like, when I just build off a point you said, like him as an Avengers villain makes a lot of sense, because Marvel one of the big comparisons between Marvel and DC is that like Marvel does a lot fewer of like the gigantic, huge widescreen threats. Like Justice League is always going off and fighting space shit. And in Marvel, that stuff is kind of relegated to like Fantastic Four and its own thing. Like if something from space visits Earth, or like some kind of big cosmic threat, it's huge. It's a really big deal. It's all hands on deck. Like the entire Marvel universe comes together to fight Galactus or whatever. In the DC universe, like they have the Justice League. The Justice League are the biggest guns, and they go and take care of the stuff. That should be kind of what the Avengers do. And Marvel like never quite got the exact same thing. Like when Marvel does that with the Avengers, they fight like Kang, who's a really good, like he's a good example of it. Or like Morgan Le Fay. Like there's like a medieval witch, they fight. It's weird shit. Like I think they never quite got good at that. Doing, or Thanos is one too, but Thanos is more of like a cosmic thing, and he fights a lot of people.
Yeah, and otherwise it's like Ultron, which like Ultron is a very permanent member of the cast of this cartoon that we're watching.
Yeah,
and I am like, it's episode 3, and I am already fucking done with Ultron. I've watched 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and I'm fucking done with Ultron already.
Making him a recurring villain is a terrible idea.
Yeah,
for this.
Absolutely. I'm kind of interested in this, to go off on just a little bit of a tangent. Like after Thanos, like what are they going to do with the MCU? Like what the big bad villain is going to be? And I kind of like can't help myself but wanting it to be Galactus. Like I don't know how they could actually pull that off, but they've been relatively like, maybe they'll make him giant and purple. Like they've done that with all of their other villains. So like maybe that'll work with Galactus, who is also giant and purple. So who knows? They have
to get if they get the Fox rights, because that's been up in the air, but they can do Galactus because he belongs to Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Which Fox owns. I would love Galactus. And that shit. Like that would be really cool. I mean, I want them to roll the Fantastic Four in anyway, but
me too. Yeah.
I like the Fantastic Four. So they're all just shooting beams at Kang. Nothing's really working. They hit him, but then Kang retaliates, and he throws a Pokeball at the Wasp, and the Wasp gets stuck in a Pokeball for most of this episode. And Kang threatens to crush the Pokeball. He's gonna do terrible things. Ant-Man, in the meantime, has figured out a way to possibly stop Kang from returning to his own time. And he's figured out some science shit.
I do want to mention that throughout all this, like as the Avengers are attacking Kang, Tigra has not like given up. She's not gone to the old Avengers home or anything. She's not hanging out. With, she is like still like rolling and like going hard against Kang, even though she's got all gray hair now, which I think is kind of cool. Like we don't get representation of old ladies in games or cartoons or anything like this, so it's nice to see this happen. Like I want my grandmas in video games. I want my grandmas in cartoons, and this is really great.
Yeah, and she's like one of the closer things this cartoon has to a good character.
Yes, agreed.
So what happened was Kang is threatening to crush the Pokeball, and it has the Wasp in it, and Hank comes up and says like, no, don't do it, I'll give you anything you want. All the Avengers are flipping out. Hawkeye throws a little fit, throws his bow on the ground. Like everybody's unhappy about this. It turns out, like, of course, to be a feint, he made a fake obelisk while everyone else was shooting lasers. For a brief second, Kang turns upside down when he puts it in his chest. Like, you noticed that, right?
Yeah, I did. I honestly, I just thought it was an animation mistake, but like, it has to be on purpose, right? Like, that has to be like a signal that something is weird with this.
it's again, whatever they can do to save money. Like, they already had him writhing, and they just took that cell and put it upside down to show that things are gone wrong, with him. It's so fucking cheap.
Yeah, man. It's not
it's
great.
pretty amazing.
The whole build up too is like as Hank is trying to sell this to Kang of like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do it, and all of the Avengers are basically yelling at Hank. Like, Hawkeye is going fucking nuts.
Yeah,
right now. He is so angry. We cannot underestimate, like, Hawkeye stays at a certain point of aggressiveness and anger throughout this entire cartoon that I'm kind of starting to love. Like, he's just so mad. I can't believe you would do this. And Hank is like, what would it be? It's just one Avenger versus millions of lives, like sacrificing his wife. Like, it's no big deal. Yeah. Hawkeye is so mad. It's so good.
I'm so glad you're coming around now, because during the next episode, like, I laughed a lot at Hank or Hawkeye just yelling.
Oh my god,
and just being an absolute douchebag for like a half hour. Like, I'm here for it as hell.
The twist at the end of that episode too is like, okay, like I honestly saw it happening, but I mean, you could still be a bad guy. I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, it's not a good cartoon, but there's joy to be wrung from it.
Sure, yeah, I'm here for it.
Like, not least of which, like, they incapacitate Kang, and we get this like in real time thing of the Vision walking up, picking Kang up, putting him on the back of a motorcycle, Tigra jumping on top, and the two of them just blasting away to Lollapalooza like, afterwards.
Time to go to Burning Man.
It's very funny.
I love it when he puts the obelisk in his chest too. Like, not even like the center part of his chest opens for him to insert the obelisk in. Like, it's like something to the like right of his breast of his pec. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird position in his like chest muscle that he puts that inside of himself before they obviously take him off and leave. And he's like, I guess, sent to prison or whatever. And all of the weird aging stuff, including like buildings and young dudes being turned into short old dudes, is all undone because it's a cartoon. So yay.
So that's the end of that episode, which is like, again, better than 1 and 2 without being great. I think this 4th episode is as close to the show gets to like transcendently funny and dumb.
Have you? Can you say that honestly? Have you watched all 13 episodes already?
No.
Okay.
No. I can do 2 episodes. I tried to watch 4 of them so we could record 3 episodes today, and could only watch 2 at a time, and then I had to go.
So yesterday I had a bunch of free time, and I was like, okay, so Gary wants to do 3 episodes tomorrow. I'm totally into that. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. I'm going to review episode 3 and 4, which I'd already watched. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to watch 5, 6, 7, and 8. I got to 6 and I was like, I am fucking done. I never want to watch this show again. I can't.
Keep in mind that like if you skip the intros, it's like 18 minutes an episode. So we're talking about 2 hours of content is definitively too much.
I cannot hang.
Yeah. Cannot hang. Episode 4 here comes a swordsman, where Hawkeye must face his past and old mentor, Swordsman, who comes a swordsman. So this is the episode where Hawkeye is just screaming and throwing a tantrum for 20 minutes, and I'm here for it.
Sure.
I think this is pretty funny.
I actually kind of dig this trendy montage that they're doing.
Yeah.
This feels like a very Avengers or a very X-Men. This feels like a very superhero thing to do. Like, this feels like a very comic book thing to do of like, oh, we are superheroes. Like, we have to go out and fight crime or fight supervillainy, so let's train to make sure that we're up to that task. Like, it feels very like in the MCU, you saw this at the very end of, I think, Age of Ultron, where they go in and like, oh, we have a new group of recruits, let's train them, and like you see all of the new Avengers, like, and that actually feels kind of good. Like, I kind of dig this.
Oh yeah, I like it much more than characters just knowing how to do this shit. Where like we talked about Mystique just all of a sudden becoming a kung fu expert and that being kind of unsatisfying. I like that they shows them train in this like kind of fake ass danger room. It doesn't mean there's not, and the action is actually better than average for the show because it's not just people standing stock still and shooting beams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Hawkeye and Falcon. They're training. They're kind of at first they're just kind of making fun of each other, and it seems like they're on the same page here. But Hawkeye shoots an arrow at a console, which pumps up the difficulty.
Yeah,
in a way that feels.
You haven't seen that in The Witcher 3?
It's the double D maneuver. He does the double D, and this makes things go badly very quickly. Where a missile or a laser hits a thing he's hanging on, he almost falls in the spinning fan blades, and Hawkeye has to shoot this grappling ankle at him. Like, it's a very specific costume, feature that Falcon has.
Yes, absolutely.
Very funny.
I like the like ongoing like kind of competition between Falcon and Hawkeye as well. Like because ostensibly we saw with their very very white man dap handshake that they did, the open palm to fist dap that Hawkeye and Wonder Man have in common with one another. That like Hawkeye and Wonder Man were very very tight. They were very tight, as Jake from Brooklyn Nine-Nine would say. But Falcon is kind of, since Wonder Man's body got stolen by Ultron and his mind was transplanted by Hank Pym into Vision, Falcon has kind of taken over Wonder Man's place. And so like Hawkeye obviously has a problem with him. And I kind of dig this. I kind of dig this like rivalry that they have going.
Yeah. Well, and just he's also the new guy.
Yes, also that. Yeah.
So they all get called away from almost dying to go watch a PowerPoint about Ice Nine. Like a government agent is showing them Ice Nine from Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, like a thing they can put onto anything that has moisture that solidifies it into crystals.
Oh, you mean anthrax? Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean Mythrax.
Mythrax, like an app to find your own anthrax, Jeremy.
It's so good. It's Find Mythrax.
You just like, Siri, give me some anthrax. Opening up Mythrax. With Mythrax, with its fucking in-app purchases for rubella and like with the bubonic plague and shit.
They're just going to keep talking about Mythrax this entire episode. It never loses its hilarity to me. Every time they say the word really Mythrax, good. it just makes me crack up.
We're actually in a dense couple minutes because I rewatched these when we were recording, and I just noticed something pretty amazing. So like, the government's has this Mythrax that's been stolen. The Avengers research where it could be. What this fucking involves, my friend, is the Wasp is looking at a series, a monitor, and I paused it on the monitor that she's looking at, and it is all restaurants and businesses, and some of these are amazing. So
if you're paused right now, if you're in VLC, I need you to take a snapshot of this right now, and I will use it as the cover art for this episode. I want to see this.
Yeah, let me do so. What I don't know, I don't have a robust snapshot thing, but I can do a control print screen and open up a paint.
That works for me.
The very very good. There's a place called Money Launder.
Yes.
Ben's Eatery, William So, a place just called Heck. Lamb's Wool, Walk Aroma.
Oh yeah,
like the dish.
Mm-hmm.
Just called Walk Aroma. We got a place called Simple Simon, a place called Pig Knuckles, Monkey Meat.
Oh yeah.
Howie's Milk.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy.
Howie's Milk. Yeah.
Howie's Milk.
You've never been to Howie's Milk, Gary?
Dude
so
Shoes.
Good. It's kind of a standard place down here. I thought I took you to it when you visited. Did I not take you to Howie's Milk?
Yeah. We didn't go to Howie and slurp up some of Howie's Milk. It's fucking weird. It scrolls through a few of them.
They soak milk in cereal so that you actually get cereal milk. That's the gimmick of Howie's Milk. So you can have like Captain Crunch milk. You can have strawberry Captain Crunch milk. It's only Captain Crunch flavors for some reason. I don't know why.
Jeremy, there's one of these stores called Sorry Pam.
SARI or SORRY?
No, it's like I'm sorry.
I mean, if that's where Pam goes to get her sorries, then that's a pretty legit place, Gary. Stop being xenophobic.
Dude,
on
this is super good. Oh, God, I love it. It's super good, and I don't understand why she's looking through restaurants to get this Mythrax. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't write any of this down. I don't even think I was looking at the screen during this point. I was just like, yes, they found the Mythrax. I don't know how they did it. They just like looked at a computer and they found the Mythrax.
It was at a Chinese restaurant, apparently. For some reason,
sure.
Even though we find out that's not true. As they're going to go take care of this, the president reminds Ant-Man that Hawkeye failed to protect the government agent failed to protect the president, and we get a flashback to episode 1. Again, anything they can do to not animate. And watching the scene again, like he didn't really fuck up or anything. He just got hurt for a second.
Yeah, what he did was not protect the president. Like he wasn't sticking on the. He was like decided to attack the fake news vans, which I will never. The fake news vans.
He doesn't do that though. He's I think that's what they say, but he's attacking the drones that are coming in to attack the president.
And
then one of the drones tags him. Like, I don't think he actually did anything wrong. Again, not to be on Hawkeye's side in this. I mean, I am on his side once we see his outfit later, but like, he doesn't really do anything wrong.
How can you wear battle armor with the midriff exposed? That's my question for this
Dude,
episode.
Yeah, it's incredible. The outfit that he gets into is just like really, really phenomenal.
This government guy is going to become like kind of a major figure over the next few episodes, and all he seemingly does is either yell at Hawkeye for doing a bad job or yell at the Avengers for doing a bad job.
Yeah.
And is this a dude that exists in the comics? Like, I've read Avengers like when I was reading X-Men, I was reading Marvel in like the late 80s, early 90s. Like I still think I have those comic books in my garage somewhere, but like I don't really remember. Like I'm not going to remember like side government characters. Is this a dude? Like
he almost has to be, but I don't know who he is.
Yeah, man. Like it's such a weird character that like it's a government agent. It's this dude from the the Avengers MCU movies who is like yelling at the Avengers for not doing a good job, even though he let the Hulk out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. The one who fucked up. So this all kind of culminates in Hawkeye just throwing a real fit.
Yeah, oh man, he pitches a bitch. Yeah.
And everyone's standing up for him. Like no one's saying like, yeah, you're out, buddy. Like Ant-Man is actually going to bat for him. You know, and they're just like, no, we're not going to get rid of Hawkeye. Don't be ridiculous. We love Hawkeye. And Hawkeye's like, I can't believe it. This is so dumb. You know, and just like yelling about shit. Quits. This is all part of a master plan. Somehow, right? Because like he ends up finding he's kind of undercover, you know, because he leaves to go to the circus. They found out that the Thrax attacks only happen during certain circus things, when the circus is in town. He goes to the circus. He says, hey, you might have a strong man. You don't have an archer. I'm the best there is. And it has to be a feint because otherwise the idea is that Hawkeye wants to go be a circus archer. Like, can you imagine that? Like him being happy, just like shooting targets from 50 feet away or whatever?
It really, because watching the episode, like I try to give these episodes like the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, okay, take me on your journey. Like, okay, if you're going to make Hawkeye be mad, then take me on this journey of Hawkeye being mad. Like, you're going to leave all of your battle armor behind and you're going to go join the circus? Like, what, how would anybody believe this? He's going to meet his old mentor, the swordsman who trained him how to do flips and shit like he was Robin from a totally different universe. But why would the swordsman be like, oh, you're back from the Avengers. You want to join the carnival? Cool. I'm here too. I'm still here. It's all it's gonna be great. Let's do flips.
I'm going to go as far as to say that's kind of a downgrade. Our culture doesn't look well on circus people, Jeremy.
It doesn't. Like, we don't like for better or worse. Folk. It does not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say for better. I'll go ahead and just make the call. Like I don't think we need to respect the circus.
Guess we're going to lose on that circus market. Let me go to Fireside right now and see how many of our downloads are coming from unknown.
From P.T. Barnum's like Forgotten Continent or whatever. So yeah, they do a flashback of him teaching him also to do crimes. Because, Hawkeye used to be a villain.
Yeah.
And the ringmaster shows up and Swordsman's like trying to vouch for him. The ringmaster, who has a hypno hat, and is definitely a supervillain and is dressed like a supervillain, comes up and just says like, you're a spy. And he goes, no, I'm a good archer. Hire me. And ringmaster says, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Sounds good.
Yep.
That was easy.
The swordsman has 2 daggers strapped to his arms, like the top of his arm, so I know that I can trust him and you.
Yeah, you guys we're all dressed like idiots here. The only way I'll hire you if you can out-idiot us. Can you come up with a costume? Go look in that costume thing and put together random pieces until you look more like a fucking moron, Hawkeye. And he does.
Totally does. Yes.
Yeah, it's real good. So we go back to the Avengers. They're watching on a screen. They've determined where the circus is. They armor up. Again, anything to avoid animating.
Yes.
Making contact. And then they fly out towards the circus.
I do love another thing that's consistent throughout this cartoon is that they have like kind of video feeds of everything that we've just watched. Like it's a really nice thing that like anything that the viewer has seen, they just have that's a camera and we can also view it back in the Avengers Mansion. Mm-hmm. Like that's a thing. That's a thing that definitely exists.
Everyone's wearing Google Glass.
Yes.
Like all the time.
And we can hack into it constantly.
It just especially because it's like how the police have like dash cams.
Yes.
The Avengers just have Avengers cams.
You know, I don't know if you've delved into YouTube with the Russian dash cams at all. Have you done this YouTube?
I've definitely seen. I've never delved, but I've had some people link some.
Yeah. Like so. There's a good money in like Avengers dash cams. I think of just like
hell yeah, man.
One dash cam and like a Captain America just like streaks across one day. Like,
it'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely incredible.
It'd be great, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm there for it.
So the Avengers like figure out where they are, right? Like they analyze. I'm kind of lost in this episode, by the way. Like I think they figure out where. Oh, there's all of the labs that are carrying the Thrax have been hit except for one. So they're like, oh, we have to go to this last lab where they're going to go hit this. So they try to like go out there to prevent the robbery, but just find it being robbed as they show up.
Mm-hmm. So while that's happening, there's a little fight in air. They fire, like, I'm glad you have this in the notes, because they fire a dude at the Vision.
Yes.
They fire the heat-seeking man missile.
They just
at the Vision.
You would think that this is unusual, but like what happens is he just literally turns intangible and then turns to stone again when the heat-seeking man missile comes back around after he passes through.
It's his only move.
Yeah, this is the Vision move. This is the Vision special, right? Like this is the fastball Vision special or whatever.
If you have the same files I do, at about 11 minutes in, the ringmaster is hanging out with a dude who looks like he's from Jane's Addiction, who's got a bucket hat and glasses and a goatee.
Sure, yeah.
And he's wearing a t-shirt over a long sleeve shirt. It's really good. And then that's right before they show Hawkeye's new outfit. Like the fashion in this show is among the most.
Do you think that
it's not best or worst? It's just most.
Do you think that there was a single woman on the staff of this cartoon?
No,
because this definitely feels like a weird, like 14-year-old's version of everything that people would want to see, right? Like again, going back to the first episode where I was completely blown away that Hawkeye's power-up armor was buckling another Avengers belt on top of his previous Avengers belt. That's a very like 14-year-old thing to think, right?
Yeah. Kids love belts.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially since they get hit with them and then they want revenge.
And let's camp out on Hawkeye's armor for a little bit.
Yeah.
You wanna?
It's really good. I need to go back to a good still shot of it. Because his sword his archer circus armor is just taking off most of his clothes and getting a cape.
Yeah. Me too.
Like we only see it for a second here. We're gonna see a lot more of it. Yeah. It's like me at home.
Sure.
Is his circus mode. Like it's he's wearing a cape with no shirt. So just imagine just a cape. It goes like halfway down his chest. And then very tight bike shorts.
I love it, Gary.
And that's it. And two black armbands because he's mourning something.
The day they shot the man who said peace could last. Sorry, I don't mean to turn this into a Guns N' Roses podcast. My bad.
Right at 10:48, you get to see the guy with the bucket hat, Swordsman and Hawkeye like all together, and it's like just a fashion like bouquet. And the Swordsman's supposed to be holding a sword, and they didn't animate it; they didn't draw it into his hands.
Yeah, instead he's doing like if you're
Dark Souls
2-hand maneuver. Yep. Exactly, it's exactly what I was going to go for. Thank you very much.
Fucking A, dude. This is incredible.
You know what this is? This is if you were at a rap battle and you get up, and this is the perspective that you see of Eminem, his background white guy with the weird helmet, and also the one token black dude on the backhand side. This is Scribble Jam 1997 or something, right?
Oh my god, absolutely. And I love, man, Hawkeye is so clearly wearing those weird little booties without socks too.
Yeah, man.
Like everything, it's like he just like, you hit random on an MMO clothing thing enough times to get this outfit.
Yeah, this very much feels like a no middle sliders from Monster Factory, right? Like this is what this feels, except just for clothes, because otherwise he's a hunk. Like he's just shredded. Like he's got a good body type or whatever.
Yeah,
I am continually amazed. I guess the fashion, like we keep talking about it, but like Gary, like it just keeps getting wilder and wilder. Yeah.
I'm into it. I hope it never gets better. I hope there's not one outfit in this whole fucking show that looks cool.
Oh, Gary, I don't know if you've seen season 1, episode 5, or episode 5, the jungle outfits. I just want to
I have, my friend. So this is we can't camp out on that too long because everything that happens here is fucking insane. So like, Ringmaster uses his helmet to make to cloud everyone's mind and make everybody disappear. So like, one, pretty big downgrade from Kang the Conqueror to a guy with a hat. But two, he leaves all the bombs for some reason. The Avengers go in there and they're like, some of these bombs are real, some are fake. Falcon says, these mind tricks don't work on Red Wing. Why? And this Falcon takes care of it. Like the Falcon comes up, carries a big canister of bombs, goes up in the sky, gets blown up and hurt. And then like he sacrifices his pet to go do this Avengers work. It's so weird. Like you could just have the bird sniff out the right bomb and you guys could have taken care of it because you're superheroes instead of letting the bird go and get blown up.
How many versions of Red Wing do you think that we're on?
Yeah,
is this Mark II or Mark V?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Whenever Red Wing dies, the other Avengers go to the pet store with a picture and just say like, "Can you get me one that looks like this?" And Falcon's an idiot, so he falls for it every single time.
Falcon is like, thanks, Hank Pym. This looks almost exactly like Red Wing. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Red Wing, like, in no uncertain terms gets blown up. Like, he falls down, like, limply, and Falcon comes and catches him, but it's a huge fucking explosion of not just a bomb, it's like my Thrax, right? Like, I don't know how he didn't get covered in crystals and fucking not anthrax, but...
Man, I don't know either. There's some really ridiculous stuff that happens in this cartoon, Gary.
This guy's everyone's an idiot. They're all morons, like way worse than the X-Men. I'm sorry I called any X-Men idiots.
The first person stuff that happens with Vision when he's like engaging with an enemy, and it's just like ostensibly it's a UI that Vision is seeing, but it has buttons all the way down the bottom and the top, right? Like, what are you? It's a HUD. It's not a keyboard. What are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's System Shock 1. It's not System Shock 2.
And then he calculates all of this stuff because that's what I guess that they're doing. Like there's a series of like symbols and glyphs on the right hand side that are scrolling, and then his calculations determine that he should once again turn to stone and fix the problem.
To his move. This cartoon is full of just people just doing the obvious thing. There's in the episode with Captain America, which we're going to get to, that's one of my favorite like things ever, where Hank Pym like calls out a maneuver and then Captain America just says, "Everybody do whatever you want." And that's the right thing to do. It's so good.
It's so good, man. It's so hilarious.
That's so funny. So they're chasing him. We got a fight here. Scarlet Witch makes a Ringmaster hallucinate, like turns his power back against him, so he sees a gigantic snake. But Hawkeye pops out of the truck to turn the tides and starts firing arrows at the Avengers. This other dude comes up and does flips and strongman shit because they've got a bunch of superheroes apparently on their side.
Yeah, why not?
I think this is the Circus of Crime is the name of this team, but we only see 3 members of the Circus of Crime. So,
man, you could have given me a lot more circus and a lot less crime, and I would have been very happy with this episode.
Like the circus crime mullet, like
sure, yeah, circus
crime
in
up
the
front, circus in back. It's good.
And like the swordsman still thinks he's got something going on here, right?
Yeah. Yep. So he takes off. Like he's, Hawkeye's like, we can't let the Ringmaster have this thing. Swordsman says yes. They go into a sewer, like the way you can't just like walk into a sewer,
Sure.
Because Swordsman's tricking him. Ringmaster gets into an AIM outfit as well, thinking he has the Mithrax, but Swordsman swapped it out because that happens a lot in this too. You got KANG, dog. And like, but this is Swordsman's villain turn. He says like, actually, we're gonna sell the Mithrax. Me and you, we're back to crime, bro.
Yeah, and it's. I know Hawkeye was like a crime dude originally in the comics or whatever, but like this swordsman thing is just so obvious. Like I don't. It's just kind of like his turn of like, oh, I'm beholden to people much more powerful than the Ringmaster. Like I gotta hope so. Like
how could you not?
My boss Brian
I'm beholden
Smith
to people
is
who are more powerful than your boss is more powerful than the Ringmaster, Jeremy. Like
my boss is Michael Scott, and he is more powerful than the Ringmaster.
Yeah, more powerful and better. So Hawkeye decides not to go along with it, so they fight. Swordsman uses his super sword, zaps Hawkeye's bow. pulls out his weird little daggers, distracts Hawkeye long enough, and Hawkeye goes to go defuse the bomb here while he runs away with his store. And Hawkeye starts defusing a bomb, pulls 2 wires that don't do anything, then gives up and throws it into the sewer. It's real good.
Yeah. He's not a science guy, Gary. He knows what his strength is.
No.
His strength is throwing bombs into sewers, okay? That's what he was trained
he's not
for.
that good at it. Yeah. Man.
Luckily enough, when he throws the bomb in the sewer, who pops out but our old buddy Hank Pym, who has shrunk himself down to defuse the bomb from the inside. And
yes, which we don't see.
No,
that might have been a cool thing to see, kids, but we don't. So
yeah. I mean, I don't. Do you want to see Ant-Man do cool stuff? I'm sorry, you need a microscope to do that. We can't afford that. Who do you think?
So
who do you think we have in
happy.
this show? Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he has all the charm of Paul Rudd, but it's Rudd with 4 Ds, and he's
it's Paul Rudd from what is the summer camp movie whose name I can't ever remember?
That I do not know.
No, it's the where he oh man, I know you know that because I think you were the one that inspired me to watch it. The one with Amy Poehler. My Wet Hot American Summer, right?
Yeah.
Or he's just kicking. Yeah. He's in the lunchroom just kicking the thing and I
don't
wanna. That's what the Ant-Man I want to see.
The attitude he has during that is very Hawkeye. Actually,
it is. It's more Hawkeye than Ant-Man. I'll give you that.
So the government's very happy.
Yes.
They welcome Hawkeye back, but we get Swordsman reporting to the fucking Zodiac, talking about weird Avengers villains.
Yeah.
I think these are the big bads for the 2-parter at the end, and I am here for it. I cannot wait for the fucking Zodiac.
Hey Gary,
some weird Jim Steranko shit.
This is episode I think 48. And this is the second episode of the Avengers. I don't remember what episode we're going to be on when we get to the Zodiac. Can you name all 12 members of the Zodiac right now for the crowd? Can you do it?
Yeah. They're just signs. They're just named Taurus, Sagittarius.
That's 2.
So it'd be Taurus, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio. People are going crazy. So yeah, maybe not actually. I definitely thought I could. If I had a calendar, I feel like I could.
You got half. You're 6 out of 12 so far. So
6 out of 12 isn't bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Gemini. There's 2 of them that are bowls. That's what always throws me off. There's a bowl, and then there's a pretty much a bowl. It's Taurus and the other one that's Taurus. You know what I'm talking about?
Bowls or vol? What are you saying?
Bowl. There's Taurus, which is a bowl.
Bowl. Okay, I gotcha.
And then there's another one that's essentially the same thing. Leo is another one.
Yeah.
I'm up to 9 or 10. That's not bad.
Yeah, you're at 10 right now, so you only got 2 left. Did you say Cancer already?
I did.
Okay. Well, yeah. I definitely don't know them, so I was just curious if you could go through all of them.
Yeah. Did I say Taurus, Leo? I need to remember those ones that because they're Binding of Isaac items as well.
Yeah, that's why I kind of figured you could
11.
nail this. To be honest with you.
So just got the 11th one, Aries.
Mm-hmm.
And then did I say Pisces already?
I don't think you said Pisces. No.
There we go.
There you go. I saw 12. Good job, Gary.
Man. Thank you.
Hey, and if you think that he did something wrong, then you can at Cole Ross on Twitter. That's the person to direct all of our Zodiac problems. Our Zodiac.
In fact, all of our problems.
Yeah, just if you have a problem in general, just at Cole Ross. Yeah. It's a good place to put that.
5-star reviews go on iTunes. 1-star reviews go at Cole Ross. So. Yeah.
Well, that should be a gimmick of the show where we just don't tell Cole about this. It's see how long it takes him to realize that we're just dragging him in public.
For this show, it would be a little bit hard to do. I bet you, I guarantee I can start getting people to tweet everything to Guppy reviews at Cole. No problem. I think it actually hurts that show making people put reviews in places nobody will see them. But the nice thing is me or Will don't give any kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's it's pretty fun. There's been a couple good things that have turned up. So, oh mercy, Avengers. That's it. That's it for these 2 episodes.
Yes.
Which I think are better than the first 2.
They are only for sheer audacity. I think.
Yeah.
Just the out there costumes, the out there plots. it's amazing the ways that they find the Avengers to fight somebody where they don't actually fight somebody at all. Like nobody punches the swordsman, nobody punches the ringmaster.
No,
which is weird. Really impressive for a show about punching villains.
Yeah, there's not really fights in a traditional sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very surprised by that. But these are more fun. I think the next two are fun as well. Not the first one so much, but the second one is. The one with Captain America is very and also like if you're not with me on the Hank Pym is cool thing, if you think Hank Pym sucks, so does episode 6 of this cartoon for like 95% of it. So you get to watch him be very, very upset and put down. It's pretty much continuously.
It's really funny. Let's get out of here. Let's let the people go home and listen to other podcasts, and we can go to do something that with our lives that's not talk about Hank Pym.
Indeed.
If you liked this episode, you should go support the network at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. A couple of bucks a month to get you all kinds of cool benefits like episodes early. It gets you access to the Slack channel where you can come talk to me and Gary about all of the 50 years of X-Men history and how problematic that is. You should definitely do that. If you can't, leave an iTunes review. If you can't do that, tell a friend about the podcast. If you can't do that, just listen. That's fine too, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
Just listen. That's fine.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Get the numbers up. That's about it. And also, I encourage you to go to Duckfeed.tv/store and pick up the Diggity Duck Bundle number 2. If you think we're all out of X-Men content, you got another thing coming. Because you're like, oh, there's other X-Men cartoons, X-Men Evolution. And we're like, keep going.
Yep, keep going.
And they're like, Wolverine and the X-Men. Keep going. Because there's an X-Men anime that we covered. We did 2 hours through about 12 episodes of that cartoon.
Yep.
And I feel like 12 episodes of that cartoon has about 45 minutes of content.
Yeah, there's an extended there's an extended like just tangent about us just talking about the way we do our laundry in the middle 45 of that. So like definitely stay tuned for that. There's actually an interesting crossover in the Diggity Duck Bundle Volume 2. You guys had Richard Pilbeam on for the return of Bonfireside Chat to talk about the cut content of Bloodborne and some Dark Souls games. And as we released the Diggity Duck Bundle, Richard told me that he had not only the X-Men anime, but all of those old Marvel animes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there's 4. There's 3 of them, I think.
There's Blade. There's 4. There's X-Men, Blade, Iron Man, and Wolverine. And I am. He says he hasn't watched any of them, so I don't really know why I'm talking about this. I'm just insanely curious about that Iron Man anime. Like I'm probably going to buy that and watch it, Gary. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Yeah. You have fun with that. I don't like being like I need things to be at least funny. So the thing about this X-Men or this Avengers cartoon is it's fucking terrible. And yes, it's boring, but like when you actually like condense it, it's fun to talk about. I'm not bored. Like the content of the Swordsman episode would be 12 episodes of that cartoon.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
The good thing about not being an anime is that they actually kind of get through plots pretty quick and move on to some other shit. So
yeah. Yep. At the very least, there's new scenery.
Yeah.
Like it's like driving through a series of bad neighborhoods, as opposed to being on a train with no windows, which is what anime is.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that. Sure. Yeah. It's the difference between Dark Souls and Kingdom Hearts. Am I right, Gary?
It's exactly it. Yeah, blocked.
We love you all. If you want to keep listening to this, go to daysoffuturecast.com and go check out all of the previous episodes. You can also go to daysoffuturecast.com/schedule and keep up if you want to watch along with us. And we'll be back in 2 weeks with episodes 5 and 6 of The Avengers United They Stand from 1999.
Hell yeah.
Please listen. Because we're not doing this for you.
Very good boys.
Listening.
Yes. Good night.